What's going on, everybody? This is Jay. Welcome to my brand new podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this. This afternoon, I'm going to be discussing the upcoming midterms that are going to be taking place on November 8th and where we stand right now. So, as I'm sure you're all aware of, Democrats currently control the House, they control the Senate, which gives them the trifecta and, of course, control of Congress. But we're sort of in a similar situation that we were in 1994. Now, in 94, of course, our president was Bill Clinton, and while he was elected and was very popular, he wasn't very popular in 94. He wasn't really popular with the Democrats. They were sort of trying to distance himself from him, and Republicans really laid the hammer down. It was one of those like really important midterm elections that there was a lot of people paying attention. Now, sometimes here's the thing, because midterms sometimes they're boring, sometimes not a lot of things happen. Sometimes it's usually like, oh, one party they control Congress, More often than not, that's what happens. I mean, when in the past like 70 years, Democrats have had the most control of Congress, and Republicans actually they took control of Congress in '95 when they won the '94 midterms for the first time, I think, since 52, 53. So that's what happened with that, because Clinton, there was a lot of things that there were a lot of circumstances that took place 28 years ago that are currently taking place right now. For example, you had gun control, which Clinton was trying to put, or not ban guns per se, but he was definitely trying to put a lot of restrictions on guns. He signed the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" bill, which let gay people serve in the military. Uh, there was a whole same-sex marriage thing going on. I'm not sure if he was for it or I think Hillary was against it. I'm not sure where he stood on that, but it was considered radical back in the day, and it's some of what we're seeing today. Obviously, he was for abortion. There's the whole abortion thing going on. I'll get into all this, but it currently mirrors the atmosphere and what's taking place right now. So in '94, Republicans they really hammered down on the whole Clinton agenda. A lot of people didn't like it. Like I said, Democrats they were trying to distance themselves from him. So what happened was, of course, Republicans not only, I mean, Clinton had the trifecta. Not only did he lose the Senate, but he lost the House as well. And but they got a lot of shit done. Of course, there was that whole him cutting welfare. He said he didn't want to make it a way of life. He merely wanted it to be a second chance, if you will. He didn't want to spend a lot of money on that. He was really a centrist Democrat, which if you know me, you know I'm definitely more of a centrist. I lean more conservative. That's more what I'm for, but I'm certainly not either far to the right or far to the left. I'll get into all this. There's a lot to cover here with the whole midterm things going on. It's pretty crazy right now. So we currently we sort of got the same thing going on. Now, Republicans are looking to take back Congress. They are most likely going to take control of the House. That's a lot of what the polls say. I'm not necessarily sure about the Senate. I think there's a good chance that the Democrats are going to keep control of the Senate. That's a lot of what the polls are saying. Um, Personally, I don't really. I mean, I would personally want at least one of those, a few of those seats to go to Republicans, because I think if you have a balance in power, then I think you're going to get a lot done. So that way you have an equal exchange of ideas. I don't agree in just complete domination or control, like a super majority. I mean, it could be either majority, honestly, as long as you can get shit done and as long as you can, deliver the goods to the American people. I don't really give a fuck. That's the way I look at it. But right now, the Senate and the House is up to the Democrats, but Republicans are trying to retake control of Congress, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Biden's already got his shit going on with Congress. He's been pissed at them this year for not signing certain things. Of course, they did they did sign the Inflation Reduction Act, which I mean that was entirely partisan. So there's that. Didn't really reduce inflation, but there are some benefits to it. It's a give and take with those type of giant bills and stuff like that. It could help people, but it could also hurt people. Now, they're campaigning on specifically one thing. Like it's usually directed toward one thing that each party it's sort of their war cry. For Democrats, it's okay. You see what happened with Roe v. Wade, that's been overturned. Now we wanna change that. So if you wanna change some of these laws, then we gotta kick the Republicans out. We gotta really maintain control of Congress and replace some of these laws, right? And on the other hand, you're gonna have the Republicans storming through, and there's gonna be saying like, "Okay, you see all the inflation, all the spending and shit we got going on right now? We can't have some of these people in power that are helping pass some of these bills like the Inflation Reduction Act, you know, that's just not gonna work out." We need there's a lot of the economy issues with the economy right now. We're currently in a recession, so if you don't like Biden's agenda, you're probably gonna vote Republican. There's a lot of that going on right now. It's pretty crazy. But in 1994, it was very crucial to modern day politics, and it was mainly, and it's not just this guy's fault, but Newt Gingrich. If you know who Newt Gingrich is, you know he's one of those people like, oh, he's this hard Republican. He's gonna, come right at you. We're not gonna be their friends. This and that. You'll never be their friend. And you kind of see that a lot with both parties. Like they're both throwing shit at each other all the time. It's a lot of rock'em sock'em robots. I mean, you see it in the debates, and Newt Gingrich is partially he's tiny bit responsible for it. There's a lot of other people as well. I mean, obviously the people that are doing it are responsible for it, but the atmosphere that you see in modern day politics, it's just outrageous. And the people that are in the middle, they're completely overshadowed by the people that are to the far right, to the far left. I mean, you have people saying some of the most ridiculous things. I mean, on one hand, I mean, just take a look at the state of Georgia, for example, some of their politicians. I mean, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene claiming that she's a victim somehow because of the whole January 6th committee, even though she's the one who is basically like, oh yeah, Trump. She wouldn't even admit the fact that Trump lost, even though he's not even in the fucking White House anymore. And she's saying, like, I'm a victim. The Democrats are the party of child. What the fuck did she say? It was like child abuse, and then she believes in QAnon. She believes all the crazy, insane theories. She thinks 9/11 was staged somehow. I mean, I don't know if you could get crazier than that. I mean, I'm not only shocked that she, of course, ran for the northern district, whatever the hell you call it. I'm surprised people actually voted her in. But if they perhaps believed that she was going to be a good candidate, then fine. Maybe they didn't know that she was going to be as crazy as she was. But sometimes you don't know how crazy people are going to be. Sometimes you're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You got Herschel Walker literally pulling out a police badge and saying that he's a cop. Raphael Warnock was like, at least I've never faked being a police officer. And then this dude, Herschel Walker, literally pulls out a fake police badge and claims, I mean, it's straight out of like a sketch, like an SNL sketch. Like it looks fake as shit. I mean, it's like, what is this guy doing? It's like, what are the points these people are trying to prove? So you got a lot of crazy people. I mean, from both sides. I mean, you both got people throwing shit at each other. It's rock'em sock'em robots. Um, Rush Limbaugh, he was part of the war cry, the anti-Clinton war cry in 1994. Now I've listened to Rush Limbaugh before. He says some funny things, and he's also said a lot of crazy things. He's one of those. He's entertaining, I'll say, but I mean, he's pretty insane. A lot of things that he says are completely insane, and one of those things was, you will never. This wasn't one of the crazier ones, but I think this is pretty crazy. You will never be their friends. It's not the time to get moderate. We need to go against these people, and it's just a reminder that like these are the type of people. It's like you do realize y'all have the same goal in mind, right? You just have different means of getting there, and usually the means meet if you're willing to work with each other, and that's just not how we see it. But yeah, and it just mirrors of what was going on today. So there's a lot of similarities going on with the '94 midterms and the 2022 midterms. Like I said, I think Republicans will take control of the House. I'm not sure if they'll take control of the Senate. I'm a bit doubtful, but we'll have to see. Unfortunately for Biden, for the Democrats, it hasn't looked good for them. Under the Biden administration, we've had inflation, we've had labor shortages. Obviously, there's a whole border crisis going on. So Biden's had to deal with a lot. Obviously, there was a pullout out of Afghanistan that didn't work out so well. Now, I will say it's not entirely his fault. Like, you can't blame all of this on Biden. You know, he wasn't exactly dealt a wonderful situation, but he does. I mean, when people say Biden, oh, he's responsible for inflation, this is all Biden's, it's not completely his fault. It's never one person's fault when it comes to inflation. There's a lot of things that factor in, but he does bear part of the responsibility. He does, in my opinion. I think he spends too much. I think some of the just the way he runs the economy isn't exactly ideal, and I think it has definitely hurt gas prices. So, and if you're asking me like how I'm gonna vote, honestly, I have no idea. I haven't really been thinking about it that much. I've just been sort of watching back in the sideline. I mean, I live in Massachusetts, so my vote's not gonna matter that much. But yeah, that's where I take where I stand on a lot of these things. Yeah, so I don't know how it's gonna go for Biden. I mean, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe the fact that Republicans will uh, Congress, take back Congress. So that means it will sort of, I guess, limit the damage that Biden does if he does do damage at all. Um, and perhaps he'll come back. Maybe he'll put in some pretty good laws. I mean, you never know what should happen. I mean, I don't I don't disagree with Biden on everything. I mean, I don't think he's a wonderful president, but he's certainly not like a terrible president. I think he's all right, I guess. I mean, I don't love him as president, quite frankly, and I'm I'm concerned for his health. I really am. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. I think I did sort of give away some of maybe my political beliefs a little bit. I tried to give you my opinion. I just want to let you know, guys, that this is going to be sort of a political podcast, and I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to talk about more like the nature surrounding, like sum up the situation as like sort of like a news person would. I'm going to sort of make jokes about it. I'm going to try and be funny about it. I'm not going to be like super cynical. It's going to be a fun thing. Obviously, when we're talking about politics, we're going to disagree a lot. Um, so I just want to say, if we're talking to each other, let's try and keep it respectful, because obviously we can exchange ideas. We're not, when it comes to people's political opinions, they're never gonna agree. They're always gonna disagree on something. There's a lot of different politics out there. So I encourage people to share their thoughts, be respectful, stuff like that. I welcome everybody, no matter your political leaning. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm not a great talker. I say a lot. I'll get better though. This is, I'm just practicing this. I'm having fun with it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I explained it well. I hope I gave you some things to think about, and I will see you later.